Hello everyone. So recently I have been spending quite a bit of time looking for some summertime outfits that might work for me, and I have ordered a number of different things. And I've never done a clothing video before, but I thought that it might be fun to film myself wearing some of these different outfits and to get your sense of which of these might work out best for me and which ones might be better to go ahead and to send back. And so all of these are dresses and skirts, and so my goal with this is to try to find some clothing that would look a little bit more polished and a little bit more presentable than what I usually wear every day in the summer, but that I could still wear for totally casual occasions and that would just look fresh and pretty, but that wouldn't look overly dressed up. And so these are all clothes that are natural fibers, and the brands that I have been trying out include Eileen Fisher and LL Bean and Quince and Pact and Madewell. And all of the items that I've been trying have options for a variety of different sizes, and so therefore they may work well for people who are plus-sized as well as people who are more petite-sized. And personally, I am 60 years old, and I am 5'3", and I usually wear a size either large or extra large, and so therefore I do have a bit of an issue trying to find clothing that I really like and that is comfortable and that is made of natural fibers and that is pretty well made. And so this has been a bit of a challenge for me, and so I think that there are a lot of other people that are like me out there that do have these same kinds of challenges, and therefore discussing some of the outfits that I've been considering might be useful for people. Now, one thing that has caused me to focus particularly on wearing dresses right now is the new trend that I've been seeing of wearing sneakers or other more casual shoes with dresses. And I do really like that for a couple of reasons. I do think that it makes dresses a lot more easy to wear and a lot less formal, and therefore things that I can wear just to go anywhere without people saying, "Why are you so dressed up?" And in addition, I do find that to just be a much more comfortable type of an outfit to wear. And I personally have a lot of Birkenstocks, and so I always would like a chance to wear those Birkenstocks with different kinds of clothing. And then also this year, I think that the really hot trend of the season is wearing sneakers or other kinds of athletic shoes with dresses. And I really personally like that look, and I think especially for people who are sightseeing or who are going to be walking a lot but who want to look presentable, I think that is a particularly good thing to be doing. And in general, I just tend to be really attracted to that, and so I do have a variety of different kinds of sneakers, and I also have a couple of pairs of Birkenstock sneakers that I especially like and that I'm especially looking for a chance to wear. So I'm going to be demonstrating all of these dresses with more casual shoes. And before I get started, I thought that I would just mention some of the makeup that I am wearing just because it is brand new. And so the lipstick that I'm wearing is from Lisa Eldridge, and this is a new shade in her refillable lipstick line, and it is called Lily. And so this is a lipstick shade that is a little bit warmer, and it's a little tiny bit grungier, and I feel like as brighter red lipsticks go, I think that this one has been really wearable for me, and I have been really liking it. And I do have one of the cases for those lipsticks, and it is really gorgeous. But for this lipstick, I just bought one of the refills, which you actually can use on its own. It's a totally working refill. And so this comes in a lipstick that you can actually just use right out of the container. And let's take a look at this. And then in addition, Lisa Eldridge has a new limited edition eyeshadow palette, and I took a look at that palette, and one of the shades in the palette has some aluminum powder in it, and so I didn't want to purchase that one. And in general, I like the Lisa Eldridge palettes, but you know, last time I purchased the Betty palette from Lisa Eldridge that was limited edition, and by the time I got it, it was too late to even talk about it on camera because it was totally and permanently sold out. And so for this one, I thought that I really just am attracted to this one green shade, and so I would just buy that one. And so what I did is to take this green shade here, and I popped it in this palette, which is a permanent palette, which is called Fawn. And so I think that this green shade actually works really well just on its own, and it also can be mixed with these other kind of basic shadows that are in the fawn palette. And so I will show you what that looks like on my eyes. I'm just wearing the green shade today, which is called Sahara. And then two other new makeup products that I've been wearing a lot this summer and that I thought that I would throw on for this video include this new powder blush from Dior. And so this is in the shade of Toffee. And I think that that is a really pretty summer shade that is not too bright on me. And then I've also really been liking this blush stick from House Labs, and this is in a shade that is called Glossy Ginger, but there are 4 new shades in this blush stick, and all 4 of those are kind of bronzy type shades, and I actually have tried on all of those in the store, and so far I've just bought 3 of them, and the 4th one is pretty much on the dark side, but I actually really like that one too. And so I would highly advise taking a look at these over the summer, because I think that as summertime blush goes, these are really, really ideal, and they do have just a little bit of a glossy finish on them. And so now let's show the footage of me trying on some different clothing, and so you can see what you think of them. And please do let me know what you think of them so I can decide which of this stuff I want to keep and which of it I want to send back, because I don't really need to have my whole house filled with clothing that I'm not going to wear and not going to like. And in case it's useful for you, I will put my measurements on the screen, and so that you can get a sense of what size I am, and then I will let you know what size the clothing is that I'm trying on, so you can see whether or not it might fit you in the size that I'm wearing, or what size you might need. And so first I will show you a dress that I picked up from Pact through Macy's. And so this dress is called the Pact Coastal Gauze Breezy Dress, and it is $108, and then I managed to get this at 30% off. This is available in 6 different shades, and the Pact typical sizes that everything is offered in is extra, extra small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, and 3XL. And so this dress is size extra large. And this is 100% organic cotton, like most things from Pact, and the washing instructions are to machine wash cold, line dry, do not dry clean. And so this is cotton gauze, and as I say, 2 years ago, or I think maybe 3 years ago, Madewell offered a few items in cotton gauze, and I thought that those were absolutely terrific, and I'd actually never used cotton gauze before, and I bought several items from them. And now they're not offering that at all now, but there are a number of different companies that are offering a variety of different items in cotton gauze, and so this is one of them. And I picked up this one in yellow because I have these Birkenstock sneakers that are in yellow, and so I kind of thought that that would be a nice match. And I actually do kind of like yellow for the summer, and especially this butter yellow type of a shade. So this is a loose dress, and it does have a tie that you can tie on the back, and I'm not sure if that is a good look for me or not to actually tie it. I think that maybe it actually looks better without it being tied on me. And they say that the length of the dress is in a side medium. It is 40.25 inches, and the sleeve length from center back to shoulder to sleeve opening is in size medium, 13.375 inches. And personally, I do really like this one with sneakers. I think that the one thing that I really like about this dress is that it is very comfortable. It is very cool in the summertime. I feel like this is something that I can wear just around the house, but that I can also wear if I want to go out and to look a little bit more presentable than I might wear if I were just wearing my ordinary summer shorts and a t-shirt. And I think that especially with these little sneakers on, I think this is really cute. And I'm just wearing little white and cotton socks. And by the way, I didn't really have any good white cotton socks. And when I looked at the sock makers that I usually buy things from, like Darn Tough, they actually didn't have any white cotton socks like this either. And so I ended up buying these, which are from Hue, which I don't really like that much. This is just a brand that is really popular on Amazon, but it only comes in one size, and I feel like they were kind of large for my feet, and that they probably probably won't last all that long. But I did buy one pair from Bombas just to try them out, and I do really like the Bombas socks, and so I do think that I will be buying more of those, even though they are a little more expensive. But those do seem like they're pretty much the same quality of socks as the darn tough socks that I have and that will last forever. And so I'm a little more inclined to go ahead and buy some more of those. And in terms of these sneakers, these are the Birkenstock Bend Low leather sneakers, and I got these on sale on the Birkenstock website very recently. And the original price was $160, but the sale price is $88. And considering that butter yellow is the color of the season, I was really happy to find those on sale. And my size is a 38, which is just a size 7. And I think the thing about the Birkenstock sneakers, I have a couple of pairs of these that I will be showing you, and I don't feel like these are sneakers that I would wear really often for hiking or for doing any kind of athletics. I don't think that they are really intended for that. But I do think as sneakers that I would wear just on an everyday basis for shorter walks or for vacations where I might be sightseeing a lot and walking a lot in them on a few days. I think that these are really terrific. So they do feel really comfortable on my feet. They do have the soles in them that conform to my feet really well. And I think that they look really cute. And I think that these are leather, and I think that they look a lot cuter than a lot of the sneakers that I currently am using for longer walks. And I have heard some people complain about the quality of these sneakers and say that they have not held up for them, but I have had one pair of these sneakers that I've worn, a bunch of times per year, not every day, and those are like 4 years old now, and they're holding up fine for me, so I am not necessarily concerned about the quality of these, and I tend to think Birkenstock would take things back, although I'm not really sure if they did have a quality defect in them. But these are not made at their German factory. The German factory is the primary Birkenstock factory, and these are stated as being made in Portugal, so that does make me a little bit less confident that they are going to be good, but I do think they are really cute, and I think they've been really comfortable for me. And then I decided to try on a few silk scarves to go with this, and so I wouldn't wear the silk scarf if I was just hanging around the house, but I think that if I were going to go out and do something or even just go to the grocery store or the farmer's market, I might put on a little scarf like that with this dress. And so the scarf that I have is from a YouTuber, and her channel is called Unblaw Yourself, which is a really cute little YouTube channel, and she does a lot of thrift stores where she will try on a whole bunch of different outfits and try it on with different kinds of clothes. So that's kind of the spirit that I have in this video. And so her scarf is called the Ani scarf, and it cost me $39. And this one has a kind of a deserty type of a pattern on it. So I do kind of like the pattern. And I think that the quality of the scarf is not too bad in terms of the silk. And so I do really like this. This is a 20-inch scarf. And I think that as a summertime look, this is a cute scarf. I do think that with this particular dress, it's maybe not large enough. I think it looks okay, but I think that this dress has such a large amount of plain yellow on it that a little bit of a larger scarf would probably be better with this as far as I'm concerned. But I think it's cute. And so then I pulled out a scarf that is from J. Jill, and as I say, I did buy a lot of different scarves from J. Jill just because I was able to get them really on sale, and I thought it would be nice to have just a variety of different kinds of scarves just to play with different outfits a while back. And so that is more of a long and narrow scarf, and it's dark blue, and it has some flowers on it, and I think I got it for a very low amount of money, like less than $20 probably. And so I think that for an outfit like this, it just adds a little bit of proportion, and because it is long and narrow, it sort of gives the sense of my body being longer and narrow, and it also covers up some of the large expanse in the front, and so I think that is a little more attractive as well. And then I decided to try out putting on a belt with this, and so this is a navy blue belt, and I purchased this from Brooks Brothers maybe like 10 years ago, and it's actually a men's belt, but I thought that a blue belt would be good for me, and I had a hard time finding a quality blue belt, and I actually really like this belt. And I would have bought another belt from Brooks Brothers recently that was either brown or black that was very similar, but it was like $168 or something. And so belts have gotten really, really expensive, and that has been a little bit on the frustrating side. But I think that this belt that's a little bit more substantial, I think that that looks a lot better in terms of making my waist look more narrow than just simply using the tie on the back of it. And I probably will cut those ties off even, because I think that it really works better for me if I use a belt with this, or even if I wear it not belted, than using those ties. But I do think that if I have this scarf on with this dress and then the little belt on it, I'm starting to feel a little bit more put together. And especially if I add some blue shoes to it, then I do feel like it looks very coordinated and summery, and kind of yellow and blue are just a really classic combination that I think are really cute. And the first pair of Birkenstock shoes that I tried on was the Birkenstock Buckley suede leather navy for $150. And I don't think that I would wear them with these white socks, but I do think there's something to be said for wearing Birkenstock shoes with socks, because in some cases, especially when they are new, they tend to be really, really hard on the feet and until they get broken in. And so if I can wear them with socks for a while, then that's an easier breaking in period. And then another pair of Birkenstock shoes that I have that are blue are these Birkenstock Lugano soft footbed for $145. So this is a suede sandal. And I don't think they make it in that blue color anymore, but they do make it in a variety of other colors. And I think this is a nice sandal to wear during the summer and fall months, but I do think that I really need to wear socks under this one. I think that it's really not the greatest shoe for me to be wearing without socks. It tends to irritate my feet and make blisters right away. And again, I tried these on with the white socks, and I don't think I would wear these, but I wouldn't put it past some people to wear these and think that they were fashionable. So you tell me what you think. I tend to think that they look a little bit better with these other socks that I have that have the blue flowers on them. So these are from Sockwell. And so these are more like wool socks, and I kind of like that better, although maybe it's a little bit much, but at least it's coordinating with the scarf. So in general, I think that it's a little bit easier to wear the sneakers with this than it is the Birkenstocks, but I think that you could make the Birkenstocks work, I think, especially if you just wore them with bare feet. And I do have a pair of blue Birkenstock sneakers that I will show you, and I think that those would be nice with this dress also. And then next we have the linen dress that I purchased from Quince, and that I was kind of enthusiastic about when I got it, but then after I washed it in cool water and hung it to dry, it no longer fits me. And so this is called the 100% European linen button front dress, and it is $59.90. And it is available in plus sizes, also in a few different shades. I think that at this point it's really just available in black and navy blue. And so that is, I think, $10 more. So they are charging more for their plus sizes, but at least they are offering them, so that is something. And so they are comparing this dress to options from Reformation, Fairty, and J. Crew. And there are currently, last I looked, there were 10 different shades available, and there were more early in the summer. And so I thought that this shade that has the black and kind of a khaki type of a color in terms of the gingham, I thought that that would be really interesting and a little bit different. And I actually really liked the dress when I got it, and I thought that it fit me almost ideally. And so therefore that it would be worth keeping. But I did want to find out whether it would shrink for the sake of being able to talk about it in this video. And I also did feel like the dress just didn't feel great to me. So there are sometimes that I buy products and I feel like the conditions in terms of the factories may not be great in terms of, for instance, mold issues or whatever. And so I thought that this could use a wash, and it does feel fine to me after I washed it in cool water with just a little bit of natural detergent. And so that part was good. It doesn't seem like it was a real problem, but it no longer fits me. So unless I feel like it fits me poorly enough at this point that unless I lose like 10 or 15 pounds, that I probably am not going to be wearing this. And in order to get it to look decent on me, even for this video, I did have to put on a little bit of shapewear, so I have some not too constricting, like bicycle shorts, and a bra that is a minimizer type bra. And this dress still doesn't look good on me, even when I use those items. So I do think it's shrunk a full size, actually. And this dress does have pockets, and there's a removable belt, and I wasn't that crazy about the way that the belt looked, and when I washed it, the belt would have really needed to be pressed, and so that was a little bit frustrating. And so I do think that this really needs a good belt to go with it, and preferably a wider belt. And it is stated that it is made with care in Vietnam, and they do say that their factories that they use are certified by a company called Okotex, and so therefore that is supposed to ensure that the workers in the factory get a certain minimum wage and a certain standard of care. And so that part is good, I guess. It's made of 100% linen, and the linen is grown in Western Europe. And there are pockets in this dress. And so I do think that if the dress had not shrunk like this, that I would be able to get some good wear out of it over the summer. I think it is something that I could wear sort of for a lot of different occasions when I just wanted to look a little bit more dressed, but not too formal. And I think that it's kind of cute. So all in all, I think that this could have worked out for me really well, but that I would have really needed to buy probably the 1X size or maybe even a larger size. There was an awfully lot of shrinkage going on with this. And I do think that when I got this dress, it was feeling really, really good to me in terms of how soft it was, but that after it was washed, it did feel much more scratchy. So it's not so scratchy that I can't wear it, and it's not so scratchy that I wouldn't want to wear it, but it definitely felt a lot more scratchy than it did when I got it, and it feels more scratchy than a lot of the other linen that I have gotten. So for instance, I have some pants from LL Bean that are linen, and I do think that that linen feels better to me. Now, the good thing that I will say is that even though I hung it to dry, it didn't really wrinkle that much. And I did throw this into a cool dryer with a washcloth that was wet just to try to make it be a little bit less wrinkled. But I don't think that the wrinkles had been an issue for this at all, so that part has been good. And as I say, there is a black version and a blue version. Last time I checked, that was available in the plus sizes. But I feel like the thing that I really like about this dress is the gingham pattern on it. And so if I were to get a black dress or a blue dress, I think I'd be a lot less enthusiastic about that. And in terms of my feet, what I'm wearing at the beginning of this video, and I'm not sure that this is what I would recommend or that I'm planning to ever wear with this dress, even if I can wear the dress in the future, is a Birkenstock flat that is called Tracy, which is like a ballet flat or like a Mary Jane type of a product. And I purchased this from Birkenstock maybe 5 years ago or so, and it was off the market for a while, but I think ballet flats are really in style this year, or Mary Jane's, and so they brought it back in several different versions in terms of the colors. And I think that it could be really cute with a lot of outfits. I don't know that it looks that great with this dress. I think it looks more like a conventional shoe, but one that is kind of on the overly casual side rather than something that is sort of fashion forward in a way of being casual like a sneaker would be. So I kind of doubt I would wear it with this dress, and I kind of doubt I would wear it with these black socks with this dress especially. But it is a cute shoe, and I do get some use out of that shoe for other occasions. And the size that I have with that one is 38. And it's interesting, I think that this 38 feels a little bit small on me compared to other Birkenstock shoes that I have that are also 38, so I'm not sure why that one runs smaller. And as I say, I do think that this dress looks a little bit better if it's belted, and so I wasn't that crazy about the fabric belt that it came with, but I think that if you put a black belt or a wider belt on with it, then that is a good idea. So as I say, I do think it's really difficult to find good quality belts now, and that most of the belts that I encounter are not good quality at all, even if they are from expensive stores. And so I did order from LL Bean, just to try it out, a product that is called the LL Bean Women's Bison Aspen Belt, which is $50.50, so I showed that here. And it is in size medium, which is 36 to 40, so I think this must have been a men's belt, which is fine. And I thought that it would be wearable, but I don't think it's the same quality as the other belts that I have, which are primarily belts from either Coach or from Brooks Brothers. And so I do think I'm going to send that belt back. And I actually purchased a new belt from Coach that I am really, really liking and enthusiastic about that. And one thing that I will say is that I am a really, really big fan of the Coach outlet store. And so I do think that anytime I am interested in leather goods, that is definitely the first place that I would look, because I think that in general that Coach products tend to be really high quality in terms of the leather they are using. And in a lot of cases, I think that they are just as good a quality or probably better quality than a lot of the products that are much more expensive that are like designer type products. And I am hearing a lot of people like, for instance, Sophia Sees Beauty, being enthusiastic about those now too. So I am happy to see that, because I did feel like for a long time they were really overlooked. So for instance, the belt that I just purchased from Coach this is, I think, supposed to be a men's belt, and it is trimmed to size. So that is a little bit more convenient than having to make sure that they have your own size in stock. But it has this great big heavy buckle, and it is thicker. And I think this is just really wonderful leather. And that it has either black on one side or brown on the other side. And so I just need to pull this off and then trim this a bit and then pop the belt buckle back on. And I think I will get a whole lot of use out of this. And compared to the majority of the belts that are on the market, I think this one is one that I think I can wear for the rest of my life. And so this is the Coach Harness Belt, cut to size, reversible black, dark brown, 38 millimeters, and it was originally supposed to be $198, but it is marked down to $79. And by the way, I can show you these Bombas Socks, which I think are very cute and very, very well made. And then just for fun, I will show you this tote bag that I purchased from Coach. And this has little snails on it, which I thought was really cute. And in the past, I thought, oh, I would prefer like a leather bag. But recently, I purchased a leather crossbody bag, and I realized that that leather was so heavy that that kind of made me not want to use it. And so then I started to realize that there is some advantage to this coated fabric canvas type material, and this is a very light bag. And I think that for just throwing in things like my book and my little crossbody purse that I use just a lot of times on its own, and maybe like a shawl or something to wear that's warmer and to take on trips or just to have around, I think this could be a really, really nice product. And I just kind of like this design. I think it's very cheerful. And that was originally priced at $378, but it was marked down to $113.40. And there are more plain bags. You don't have to get one with snails on it. But I didn't have that black belt when I was filming this footage, and so instead I used a red belt that I have from Coach, and this is called the Coach Signature Buckle Belt, and it was originally priced at $198, and it was marked down to $59.40. And I think that maybe they just have the black version of this now. I'm not sure they have that red version. And it is 1.4 inches wide or 38 millimeters. And again, I have this in size large, which seems to be my Coach belt size. And so now just for fun, I thought that I would try on just a few different pairs of sneakers so you can see what you think of those with this dress. And so the first one is just an older pair of black sneakers that Ella Bean is no longer selling. And the only reason that I decided to put these on is because I thought that it would be interesting to see what they look like with black sneakers on. And I do really like the way that it looks with the black sneakers, actually, and even with those black socks. But I kind of feel like those sneakers look a little bit too cheap, and that if you're going to really lean into this idea of wearing a dress with a pair of sneakers, that the sneakers are probably going to get a lot of attention. And so personally, I would prefer that they be a nice pair of sneakers that I really liked and wanted to show off. And so I don't think that these are exactly the ones that I would choose for that, but I think that there is something to be said for wearing a black pair of sneakers with a black dress like this, or a black check dress like this. And then another pair of sneakers that I have is one from LL Bean, and this is called the LL Bean Women's Trail Model X Ventilated Hiking Shoes for $99. And these are actually hiking shoes that I do wear a lot and that have held up really well for me, and that in the summer I do think that these are really terrific. And again, I'm not sure that these really look that great with this dress. They kind of remind me of what some people, not even me so much, but what some people would wear in terms of commuting to work back in like the 1980s with their hiking or athletic shoes on, and then changing into different footwear when they got into the office. And I kind of think that it's not necessarily a bad thing to wear a heavy sneaker like this with the dress like this in terms of what people are wearing now. But I'm not sure how comfortable I feel with it, and I'm wondering what you think of a look like this, because it is a look that I think that, for instance, like Vogue is promoting, is really any kind of sneaker with any kind of dress, and I'm not sure if I like that or not, but you can see what you think. And then the next sneaker is one that is from a company called Dansko, and this is called the Dansko Harlyn, and it is priced at $135. So Dansko is a Denmark brand that was founded in 1990, and it is employee-owned. And I think that these are kind of more streamlined type sneakers. They kind of remind me of the sneakers from Tree Torn that everybody used to wear back in like the 1980s. And that's a Swedish brand, so I guess that makes a little bit of sense. But I like these little shoes. They are very lightweight. They seem to be really not necessarily a bad shoe to wear with the dress. I think that it makes a little bit more sense to me and feels a little more comfortable to wear something that's a little more streamlined and lightweight like this with the dress rather than a really bulky athletic type of a sneaker. But again, you can tell me what you think. And I decided to wear these with these khaki socks, but maybe cream socks would be better. Though I think that if you really want to be in style, I almost think that those really clunky sneakers that I wore in the previous set of footage, I think that that one might almost be a little bit more in style, especially if you had a sneaker that you really liked the way that it looked. So unfortunately, I won't be wearing any of these looks, at least in the immediate future, because I don't feel like this dress is loose enough on me at this point that I feel comfortable with it. But I will put it aside for a while, and we will see if I manage to lose enough weight to feel comfortable in this dress. And then the next dress that I have here, this is from Quince again, and this is the 100% organic cotton gauze tiered maxi dress, and it is priced at $59.90, and there were 11 shades last I checked on the website in the regular sizes, which are extra small to extra large, and then it also was available for a while in plus sizes. And there were 3 shades when I checked. There was black, cream, and this peach version. And so this version is actually the 1X. And so the reason that I purchased the 1X in this is because I did have that experience with the linen dress and with the extra large shrinking down to the point where it was too small for me. And so to experiment, I actually bought this shirt that I'm wearing now, which is also the organic cotton gauze, and I purchased that in the extra large. And I did wash it, and it did shrink down some. And so I thought, well, okay, I will just go ahead and buy this 1X dress because I'm not sure how it's cut, and it seems to be a little bit on the safe side. And so when I got the 1X version of this peach dress, when I first got it in the mail, it was really enormous. And so I did wash this and then I dried it. And it's still pretty big on me. I think it's really too big. And I think especially if we take into consideration the armholes, then those are really large armholes as well. And you are able to see my bra a little bit with these. The other thing that I was surprised with this dress is how low cut it was in the back. And so I think that that is not something that I feel entirely comfortable with in terms of how my body looks. And I think that it is really cool, but I actually can see the top part of my bra when I wear this dress. And so just in general, it does seem like it is really oversized. And although I'm not entirely unwilling to wear a dress that shows off my upper arms when it is really, really hot outside, just because that can be really cool, I don't really feel that comfortable showing my upper arms, and especially at this point. And part of the reason for that is because last year I did break my arm, and so now there's like a lumpiness there that where the bone is actually thicker than it used to be. And so that makes me even more uncomfortable than I was before. And so although I would wear something like this maybe on a really, really hot day around the house, I don't think that I would wear something like that outside, even if it did fit me properly. And this dress is stated as being made with care in India, and for the length, they say that the length is 49.75 inches in a size small. And even though some of the Quince garments are really, really long and really too long for me as a petite, I don't think this one was bad. I don't mind this one being a dress that goes almost all the way to the floor because it is very cool, and I do think that that is an acceptable way to wear this dress is for it to be really, really long. And so that part was kind of okay. And I think that at some point it might be the case that really long dresses like that might not be as stylish, but I think it would be really easy to get this hemmed. And in the first part of this footage, I am again wearing that Dansko Harlyn shoe, which was $135 when I bought them. And I'm still wearing these here, and I think that they kind of disappear entirely under the dress. And those do have a little bit of a trim that is like a pinkish, peachish type color. And so I kind of actually like those with this dress, but you can see what you think. And so to start off with, to see if I could make this dress more wearable, I decided to try on the Madewell shirt that I purchased maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And this has a little bit of a plaid, but it's really muted, and the colors are like a peach and cream and butter yellow. And so that is actually why I decided to buy this peach color of this dress, because I thought that it might go well with this little shirt from Madewell. And so that is a totally cotton shirt, and it's cropped, and it's really, really light, and it's breezy. And I do feel like if I just throw this over the top of it, that it actually does feel really still very cool and appropriate for even really, really hot summer days. So that is one way that I think that I could wear this dress, and therefore the issues with it being too low cut in the back and not having the arms, I think that that solves that pretty well, and it actually looks kind of cute. And then next I put on a pair of Birkenstocks, and this is a pair of Birkenstocks that I have worn a lot, and so they actually are broken in to the point that they don't cause problems on my feet. And these are the Birkenstock Arizona oiled leather, and they would be $150. And I don't think that they have these anymore in this color that I have, which is like a cognac type of a color. And that is kind of too bad, because I do feel like this cognac color goes with an awfully lot of different things that I wear. And the oiled leather does take quite a while to break in, and I did put some like natural lotion on the underside of it, and I do think that that helped a lot to just rub that into that, but it does take a while for them to break in. But once they break in, they do feel really, really comfortable, and I wear these an awfully lot, and they still look almost brand new as far as I'm concerned. And I think I have them just on without socks in this video footage, and I think they look okay with socks on, and I think that they also would work fine without socks as well. And so this dress is so long that it does give you a lot of options in terms of footwear that you can wear without people looking at it and drawing a lot of attention to it. And then this dress is so large and so oversized that I started to think about back in the 1990s and about when I went on a trip to Europe for about a month and about how I dressed when I was there. And I had just seen a movie called Before Sunrise, and the girl in the movie was traveling herself, and she was wearing a dress with like little spaghetti straps and then like a white t-shirt, or I think maybe a black t-shirt underneath it. And I thought that was a really good idea at the time, and so I actually purchased a few dresses like that at the time and a few fitted t-shirts to wear under those, and that's pretty much what I wore on that whole trip. And I was able to just change out the t-shirts without having to wash the dress, and I was able to wash those t-shirts in my room, and that was a really, really good way to travel. And so when I tried on this dress, I thought it would be a good idea to see if I could get that kind of a look, because I think this would be a really good dress to travel in, especially if you were sightseeing in really hot weather. And so I got out some of my old LL Bean t-shirts, and these were actually in a smaller size than I usually wear. These are just large and they're really fitted. So this is the LL Bean Women's Soft Stretch Supima Blend t-shirt in crew neck, and these would be $34.95. And so I started out with the white one, and I just stuck this underneath this dress. And I think this is actually kind of cute. I think that it looks kind of fresh and kind of pretty, and that it just looks very, very summery to me. And I think it's covering everything up, but it's still quite cool. And that t-shirt has 56% Supima cotton, 36% Madewell, and 6% spandex. So it's not as cool as some t-shirts because it does have that spandex in it, but compared to a lot of clothing that I might wear in the summer, it is pretty cool. And I think that it's very practical, especially for like travel purposes. And LL Bean does tend to be my number one place to go to buy t-shirts, and I tend to be kind of sorry if I buy them from anywhere else. And Quince is known for selling t-shirts that are really inexpensive, but they're not in petite sizes, and so that makes me much, 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 much less interested in getting any. And I put back on the Dansko shoes just to show you what they look like with that white t-shirt. And I think this is turning into a really casual and kind of cute look. And then I have a pair of Birkenstock shoes that I purchased last year on sale. And this is the Birkenstock Gizeh Flower, and that is $150. So this is a thong type of a Birkenstock that makes me kind of worried. And I really haven't worn these yet, but my feeling was that these were so cute that I really couldn't resist. And I kind of felt like if I was going out to dinner or to even like a wedding, maybe I could get away with wearing these shoes. And now this year they came out with them in 3 different colors. So I think that there's just this white color and there's a pink color, and then you can get them in black. And I haven't worn them enough to know if they're tearing up my feet or not, but in general I really, really like the way these look. And they are really comfortable as long as they don't make blisters. And I think that in combination with this little white shirt, this would be actually really kind of cute also. And I think I would kind of enjoy going out to like dinner or something in these shoes, with this shirt and this dress. And then I put that little Madewell shirt back over the top of this, and this is getting to be a lot of layers, and so it is not going to be as cool as not having as many layers on there. But I think that sort of for going out to dinner and wanting to look a little bit dressier, maybe if it's going to be cooler in the evening hours or in the restaurant, I think this is kind of cute together also. And then I happened to have another shirt that was exactly like the white one, except this one is a really light pink. And so that has been discontinued, but I thought that I would give it a try with this dress. And it's a little bit more leaning on the cool side, and the dress is leaning a little bit more on the peach side. But I thought that if I used them together with this scarf, that would probably be fine, and that they would kind of coordinate together. And I do like, again, the way that this long scarf looks like over this dress because it gives a little bit more of a lengthening type of a look to it, and it's also covering over the front part of my stomach, and so it's drawing a little bit of attention away from that and giving a little bit of a distraction. And I think it's a cute scarf, and it's like a cotton scarf. I think it might be an Echo scarf that I picked up a few years ago, and I think it's kind of cute. And I tried on those cognac Birkenstock Arizona shoes again, and I think that those look okay with that. And then I tried putting on that same Madewell shirt again, and I kind of like the way that that looks also, and I think I especially like that in combination with those yellow Birkenstock sneakers. I think that's kind of cute together as a colorful but really muted colors look. And then I thought that I would try on that scarf again and just try on a few different kinds of other shoes. And those LL Bean hiking shoes, I probably wouldn't wear those, except that I am thinking that if I were vacationing and if I were in like the south of Italy and going to be walking around a lot all day, that those shoes actually would be really, really functional in terms of getting a lot of walking in, but looking better than probably 90% of the tourists that were trying to struggle through the same kinds of conditions. And so I think that there is a reason to be wearing a shoe like that, even if it's not necessarily something that I would ordinarily be wearing with an outfit like this. And then that scarf has some black in it, and so I thought that that might make it especially appropriate to wear like a black shoe with those. And so I think that, if I were a tourist in Italy and I was going to be going out to dinner at night and I wanted to look a little bit better, that I could put on sort of those black shoes that I could be wearing sort of throughout the whole trip. And that looks kind of cute also. I think it looks a little bit slightly more dressy and not inappropriate to be going out, and that you could wear black with that dress even if you didn't have the scarf on with it. But I think it looks better with the scarf because the scarf has a little bit of black in it too. And one thing that I will say about Quince, and that I especially learned with regard to this dress, is that things on the Quince site disappear really fast. And so this dress was available, and now it's not available at all, and it's only been a couple of weeks. So what I would suggest with regard to Quince is that if you're interested in buying something, that you might want to go ahead and buy it with the idea that if you don't like it, you can just send it back, because if you wait to make up your mind, it very well might be gone. And then next we have a dress that I picked up from Madewell, and so this is the pleated midi shirt dress in 100% linen, and it is $148. And the regular sizes, it is extra, extra small to extra, extra large. It was available in petite sizes, in extra, extra small to extra, extra large, and I think that that may be almost totally sold out on the Madewell website, but it's possible you might be able to find it somewhere else floating around. And then there is also plus sizes. And so this dress is available in beige and black, and so I first started out by buying this in the beige size, and so it is 100% linen. And it says that it has a resort collar, cuffs, short sleeves, and buttons down the front for a classic look. And it says that it falls 53 inches from the high point of the shoulder based on the regular size medium. And it is supposed to be machine washable, and it's imported. And so what I will say is that I've worn this dress out one time when I went to Madison for the day, and so I went to Sephora, I dropped my dog off at the groomer, I went to the organic food store, I went shopping in a mall for a while, and during that time I actually got 3 different compliments from young people that were under age 25 telling me that they really, really liked the dress. And I was really surprised at that. I don't get all that many compliments from really young people like that, and so apparently what I was wearing was really seen as fashionable by them, and it does seem to be that Madewell created a dress that is actually attractive to those people, even though I think it is one that I can wear. I was wearing this dress with a blue belt and also with my blue Birkenstock sneakers, which I will be showing you here, and white socks. And so apparently that is a modern way to dress, and that people actually are finding that to be appealing. And so, as with Madewell clothes in general, I do think that this is really well constructed. I do think that the linen is really heavy and it seems to be really good quality. Now, I haven't washed this dress yet because I don't feel like it needs to be washed exactly, and I am afraid of what might happen to it after it's washed and that it will never look as good again. But that would not be my experience with Madewell clothes. Actually, I feel like all of the ones that I've worn in the past have been fine and that they haven't shrunk. So I would be surprised if this one were to be different after I washed it, but I still haven't done that yet. I still think I want to wear it one or two more times before I actually wash it if I don't have to, because it is looking really good. And I do like the way that this is designed. I think, like the gathers on the back, because I think that that provides a nice look for my waist. At least it's fitting the way that it does. I think that it gives some structure to it without looking too fitted and without it having like a little tie belt on it. And it is something that I can wear with a belt over it, and I think that the belt over this one looks particularly nice also. And this dress is a petite extra extra large. And so, as I say, in the regular extra large for them seems to be more like a 16 or a small 16 actually. And so extra extra large seems to be a better size for me in terms of how I want my clothes to fit. And so to start out with, I'm just wearing those Birkenstock cognac Arizona shoes because I just wear those a lot when I just want to throw something on my feet. And then I put on the blue belt from Brooks Brothers that I wore when I went to Madison. And I think that a belt like this is actually really nice with a dress like this that just gives my waist a little bit more definition. And it looks a lot more put together. And I tried on a few different pairs of shoes in the video footage. So I actually started out with a pair of sandals. These are the Birkenstock Lugano sandals. And I tried them on without socks first, and then I put on some white socks with them. And I think that they might look even better if I put on those blue socks with the flowers on them. But my dog stole those socks and seems to have hid them when I was making the video. And so I just tried them on with some white socks, which probably wouldn't be what I would recommend as much. But I think with just plain Birkenstocks, a dress like this is perfectly fine, really, with regard to any Birkenstocks you might choose to wear. And so what I wore to Madison were just these are smart wool socks that are like liner socks, and so they're pretty thin. And so I wore these, and then I wore the Birkenstock blue bend low sneakers, which are canvas and suede in a mixture in midnight blue. And these are still available, and they are $140, although last I checked, they were actually marked down to $70 on the Birkenstock site. So I think that's a pretty good deal for those shoes. And again, I bought these several years ago, and I've gotten quite a bit of wear out of these. I do tend to wear them quite a lot. And now that I think I can wear them with dresses, at least for the time being, I feel like I'm going to wear them even more frequently. So I guess I can see why these young people kind of like this outfit. I think that with the sneakers and the belt and the socks, it's a little bit on the fresh side, and it looks kind of a little bit more dressy than what I would usually wear for a day's shopping, but I think it's kind of cute. And I do feel like because of the design of the dress and because of that waist definition that I do look a little bit thinner than I usually do. And then this scarf that I have, it is blue and yellow like stripes with some cream in it. And this is from Lily Silk, and I did decide to give Lily Silk a try, mostly because I saw people on YouTube talking about them, I think mostly in sponsored videos. And I think this is not a bad scarf. I think the quality of the silk is reasonably good, and that it is kind of a cute design. And I do wear blue a lot, and so I think it is kind of cute with a lot of the clothes that I wear. And this is a smaller scarf, but I think that it kind of draws more attention up towards my face without ruining the lines of this outfit. And I think that this outfit is fitted to my body nicely enough that I kind of don't want to interrupt those lines. I think that it's just kind of pretty the way it is. And then I kind of wanted to see what the Birkenstocks would look like with this outfit if I had some patterned socks. And since I couldn't find those ones with the flowers on them when I was filming, I found these socks that just happened to be right nearby that have these like little dogs on them. And these were not very expensive socks. And I don't think that these look really great with these shoes, but I think maybe if I had those flowered socks, which are higher quality and a little bit better looking, maybe I could get away with wearing the Birkenstocks with the socks in a pattern with this dress. But it may be the case that this is a structured enough dress that I either want to wear sneakers with it or just plain Birkenstocks without any socks. Maybe that might be better. And then just as a change of pace, I thought that I would try on the red belt that I have with this. So again, this is from Coach. And then I thought I would try these on with these red Birkenstock Arizona shoes. So those are, again, oiled leather. And so those are discontinued, I think, in this color now. But I think that plain Birkenstocks with this dress look fine, and especially since the color is echoing the color of the belt, I don't think this is a bad look. I think it looks okay. And I don't know if little pops of red like this are exactly on trend, but I don't think that this would ever be out of style entirely. And I think that it kind of is just a little bit different and gives a kind of a different look. And then I also tried this on with those Dansko Harlyn sneakers, and I almost feel like this is like too demure with this dress. I think that the Birkenstock with the blue were a little chunkier, and that they kind of gave a little bit more of a definition that was actually a little bit more in style. And I feel like with these, they actually go with the dress and they would look fine. And if I wanted to wear them with the dress, I think that would look fine. But I actually kind of am liking a chunkier sneaker with the dress like this because it's adding more balance, I think. But I will say that because those shoes have that little bit of pink in them, that they are coordinating with that red belt. So I do like that about them anyway. And I do think that this dress is looking a little bit on the wrinkled side, and I will note that I didn't do anything to it except hang it up after I wore it all day, and I think that it feels pretty clean to me, and even though it was a moderately hot day, I think that linen doesn't get as sweaty and yucky as a lot of fabrics, and I think that it could look a lot worse in terms of the wrinkles, but if I had steamed it or something like that, it would probably look better, or maybe put it in the dryer on low, something like that. And so because I liked this dress so much, I started to think that maybe I would like to try the black version as well. And so I looked and looked and looked, and finally, and it was mostly sold out in these larger sizes, but I did finally find the linen one available in the size 1X. And that is a little bit bigger than this one, and it's definitely longer than this one. And I don't think that that is nearly as ideal in terms of the size. Now, I could certainly get it hemmed, and I like this dress enough that it might be worth it to get it hemmed. I also don't feel like black is as good of a color for me as the khaki color. I don't feel like I can't wear black, but I don't think that black is as attractive of a color for me due to the fact that my complexion does tend to be so low contrast or sort of on the muted side. And I don't feel like the 1X dress is a lot bigger in terms of how it fits than the extra, extra large, but I do feel like it's a little bit more loose on me, and I haven't washed this yet, so if it shrinks at all, then maybe this one would be ideal, and the extra, extra large would be a little too small, but I'm not sure. And I do think that it helps a lot if you add a belt to this. And so when I filmed this video footage, I didn't have a black belt like that. And so I got another Coach belt out, which is a cognac version. And this is called the Coach Classic Buckle Belt, 18 millimeters, and it is $128 originally, and I bought it recently on the Coach outlet for $38.40, and so it's patent leather, it's pretty narrow, it's 18 millimeters, and it is a Merlot color with a gold buckle. And again, that's a size large. And I don't think that this belt is ideal for this dress. I think that you can wear burgundy accessories with black, but I think I would prefer a black belt. And I think I would prefer it to be wider and maybe to have a bigger buckle. So I think that the belt that I just bought will be ideal with this dress. But I think that in terms of giving some waist definition, that I think that is really important. And the shoes that I am wearing in this video footage, these are the Birkenstock Buckley shoes, so they're like those blue ones, except these are in a color that is called pink clay, and I actually have gotten a lot of use out of those shoes also. So one thing that I will say about a dress like this is that this is something that I would be especially likely to wear a scarf with, and so it's kind of almost an excuse to wear a lot of different scarves. And so the one that I pulled out, this one I think is just originally from J. Jill, and it wasn't all that expensive, but I like the fact that it's black and that it has these kind of larger and colorful roses in it. So some of the roses are kind of a muted blue, and some of them are like pink and kind of a fuchsia. And so I think that when I add this scarf to it, that helps a lot. And so all in all, when I look at this video footage, I feel like this is a pretty wearable dress for me, and I just really like the fabric of it so much. That is such impressive linen quality fabric that makes me really a little bit inclined to keep it, even though it is a little bit on the pricey side. And if you actually are interested in buying this dress, one thing that I will note is that the sleeves are constructed a little bit odd. So it seems like they are constructed so that they are more like attached, like further down, like beyond my underarm. And so it's almost like if I try to lift my arms all the way in the air, that would not be as easy to do with this dress. But I don't seem to mind it, and I kind of like the way it looks. It kind of gives it more of an oversized feeling than a traditional shirt dress, and I think that's kind of appealing to me. And then next I have still another cotton gauze dress, and this one is from LL Bean, and I purchased this toward the beginning of this year, and this is called the LL Bean Women's Cloud Gauze Midi Dress in a stripe, and it was $80. And they have this one available in, I think, blue stripes and then several colors of solids, including, I think, a white one and a black one. And they may have had a couple of other shades earlier in the year, but they may be mostly sold out now. This one is available in the standard LL Bean sizes, so regular, extra small to extra large, petite, extra small to extra large, and then plus sizes, which are 1X, 2X, and 3X. And the size that I have is my usual LL Bean size, which is petite, extra large. And I do think that this particular shade is getting closer to being sold out in a lot of the different sizes, but this dress is also available in some other shades at present. And this dress is a drawstring, and so with this particular dress, I don't think I would take the drawstring out because I'm not sure I want to wear a belt with it. But I think if it were a plain color, I might be more interested in removing that drawstring and just using a regular belt with it, possibly. And at the beginning of this video footage, I am just wearing those little Dansko sneakers, and I think that those are fine with this. As far as I'm concerned, I might very well wear that. And so the main reason that I purchased this is because I was so happy with those Madewell dresses, and I wanted to get something else in cotton gauze. And so this was the first thing that I saw, and so I thought that I would give it a try. And at least it is my own size, and so I think it fits okay. In terms of the armholes, I think that they are a little bit big, a little bit more big than would be ideal, but I don't feel like I can really see my bra straps through them, and so I would be willing to wear this. And I think that the way that this dress is cut, it's much higher than the Quince dress, and so I did try putting on some shirts underneath it, but that did not really work. I wouldn't wear anything under this one, and I don't think that I would do that even if I purchased a larger size. Now, I did try putting on a little sweater with this, and so this is a sweater that I purchased, I think, from J. Jill. It's just a little cotton sweater. I don't think it looks great with the dress, but I think if I were going out to dinner or something, I could throw it on over that. And then I tried those Birkenstock sneakers with it, the bent low ones in the blue color. And I kind of think that those are nice because it brings up the blue in the dress, and the blue in the dress is the one darker color in it. And so I do think that that looks kind of cute together. And actually, now that I look at this video footage, I kind of think maybe I might add a blue belt with that, except that if I took that drawstring out of there, I don't think I would ever get the drawstring back in there. So it's a kind of a big commitment. And so I have a couple of other Madewell shirts that I thought I would try on over that. So one of these is just a plain green cotton, like poplin type shirt in a lightweight material that I purchased. And I think that that looks kind of acceptable, but I don't think that maybe it's ideal. I think it looks casual, but I don't think that it looks necessarily as stylish as I would prefer. And again, I'm wearing this with those Birkenstock Buckley shoes in the pink clay color. And then I also have a cotton blouse that is from Madewell that has like embroidery flowers on it. And I kind of really like that shirt a lot, and I do wear it quite a lot. And so I'm happy to have an excuse to wear it and to throw it over a dress like this. And I think that that looks actually kind of cuter in my eyes. And so I would be inclined to wear that. And in general, now that I have a few more other dresses, I'm not sure if I should keep this one or not. I think that it is kind of attractive, but mostly I would just probably wear this on super, super hot summer days when I really wanted something that was just really minimalist and that would be really breezy. And so I don't think that it is as well made, not just as the Madewell products, but I don't think it's as well made as that Pact dress. And I wonder if I might be happier if I just got like another shade of that Pact dress rather than to have this one. And I haven't taken the tags off of this one yet, and I haven't worn it for anything except to shoot this video footage and just to try it on myself. And so it's not too late at all to take it back to L.O.Bean, and so I might do that next time I go to Madison. I think that the really good thing about this dress is that the pattern in it is so vertical, and so I think that that pattern does help me to look a little bit thinner and a little more shapely, and so that part is good. I do like these kind of cotton dresses so much that I might keep it, even though it might not be my favorite. And then the next dress is also from Pact, and so this is another dress that I picked up on the Macy's sale for 30% off. And so this is called the Pact Fit and Flare Crossover Dress, and it is $68 at the regular price. And this is organic cotton mixed with a good amount of Lycra. And it is available in 10 different shades, so most of those shades are prints, and then there are a couple of solids. And so this one is called Eclipse Purple, and it may be leaning slightly towards purple, but it really looks to me like a really dark blue. And the crossover bodice in this one, that makes it more like a wrap dress, and so I think that that is a really flattering silhouette for me anyway, and for a lot of other women, and I think it is certainly cut quite low, and it may be cut too low for some people. I don't think that's necessarily too low for me. It is showing a good bit of my bosom, but I don't think it's too much. But I guess if you wanted to, you could do a little bit of sewing along that area to make it a little bit higher cut. And it does have little short sleeves on it, and so that is a little bit more comfortable for me to wear than if it were totally sleeveless. I think that the sleeves are a little bit tight on me, but I don't think it's a problem, and I think it kind of looks okay. And so in general, because this has that wrap dress silhouette, I do think that it kind of looks okay on my body, just plain, and that it's fitted around the waist and the top, and then it flares out a lot, and so that disguises a lot of flaws with regard to the hip area. Now, what I will say is that it's only available in regular sizes. This dress is not available in petite sizes. And I think that for me, if if I were taller and if I were wearing this as the same length, that this would be starting to get a little bit short. So for me right now, it's right around the knees, but if it were a couple of inches shorter on me, then that would start to be getting to a fairly short length compared to what I would be comfortable with for most occasions. And to start out with this, I am wearing my Birkenstock blue sneakers along with white socks, and I think that those are kind of cute with this as well, and that it's definitely a casual look, and this is a more casual dress than some of the others, but I think that they are kind of cute together just like that. And I kind of feel like with this dress that it is sort of an excuse to wear scarves more than anything else. And so I did grab a bunch of different scarves to try on with this. And so I tried on a couple of these scarves that are from the J. Jill, and I also have a scarf here that was originally from Madewell, and that is the one that has some teal with some dark blue in it and big flowers. And I think that, again, that this is a really well-made scarf. And I tend to look fairly frequently at Madewell for scarves because I do think that their scarves are really nice quality there. And so if I can find one that, especially if it's on sale, and if it is one that has a pattern that I really like, then that tends to be something that I am really interested in. And then I also tried it on with that blue and yellow lily silk scarf, which I also think is kind of cute with it. And I thought I would try this on with just a little sweater over it just to see how it would look. And this sweater is from J. Jill, and it doesn't look terrible because I've never washed it. And I would say that the problem with this sweater is that it kind of ruins the line of the dress. And so therefore I think the best thing about this dress is that it does have that fittedness around the waist. And so it looks like I have a waist, and so if you add that sweater to it, then it no longer looks like that. But I feel like this is a sweater that I could just kind of throw on if I was going to be cold in a restaurant, something like that. And then I tried a couple of pairs of Birkenstocks with this, and I think that Birkenstocks go really nicely with a little dress like this. I think that looks perfectly fine. So my concern with this is that I feel like this dress is fitting me just about perfectly now, but that if I wash it and it gets a lot smaller, then I won't be able to wear it at all, at least not unless I lose a lot of weight. And so I guess that I will keep it probably, unless people tell me that there are better choices and that I should skip this one. But I probably will keep this one and then try washing it and see how it works. And I might buy another dress like this because it is fairly inexpensive, and especially if I could get it on sale again, then I think that that might be worthwhile. And I think it's kind of cute. And it's casual enough that I feel I can just wear it like around, and maybe even like hiking with my dog. I might be able to wear a dress like this with that. And in general, I feel like, especially if it doesn't shrink a lot, that I might actually buy additional versions of this dress in the future. So I think that starting out by washing it to see if it's the right size, or to see if I should size up, as long as I don't lose weight, that will be something that I will be interested in finding out what happens. But as I say, the AI claims that this does not shrink very much, so hopefully that will be the case. And then at one point in the footage, I did try it on with the Brooks Brothers blue belt, and I think that might look slightly better, but it's really well made enough that I don't think it even really needs that belt, but the belt looks fine with it too. And because I wanted to talk about Eileen Fisher a little bit, I thought that I would try on a skirt that I've had for a couple years, which is a black pencil skirt. It's in summer type material, so I think it's rayon and cotton, something like that. It has an elastic waistband, and I have this in size extra large, and I thought I could wear this for more type dressy occasions, but I really didn't wear it very much. But I thought that now that we are into this casual, taking dressier clothes and making them more casual and to wear like on an everyday basis, I would give that a try with this skirt. And this has an elastic waist, so I don't feel that comfortable tucking things into it. But I decided to try this on with this Quince shirt, which I'm actually wearing today also. And so the Quince shirt is called the Quince 100% Organic Cotton Gauze Roll Sleeve Shirt, and it is $39.90. And I purchased this in the size extra large, and then I washed it to see how much it would shrink, and it did shrink a little bit. And I have this in the shade that is called Artichoke, which is a shade that I actually really, really like. And they currently have 9 shades on their website, and I think they had more of these shades earlier in the summer. But right now, last I checked, they had 9. And they're mostly solids, at least at present, but there is currently one that is in cream and taupe. And so what I thought that I would do is just try wearing this as a tunic with this skirt to see how it would look. And at the beginning of the video footage, I am wearing another pair of Birkenstocks that I tend to just wear with like jeans or pants, and more in the winter month. And these are the Birkenstock Kyoto, and they're $150. And you could wear these as just regular sandals, but I tend to more wear these with socks, and I think that they're probably easier on my feet if I just stick to wearing them with socks. And so I don't know that I would wear those shoes with this outfit, but I thought that I would just give them a chance to see what you guys think. And so then I added a belt because I thought maybe a little bit of waist definition would help with this. And so the belt that I put on was from Coach, and it is multicolors, and it's actually a reversible belt, and so it has different combinations of colors on each side. And I purchased this maybe 5 years ago, maybe a longer period of time ago, and I've actually worn this quite a lot. And in general, I think that Coach belts are just so pleasant to wear that does make me want to add belts to clothes. And so then I decided to switch to the Birkenstock Bend Low sneakers in the butter yellow color. And I kept those khaki socks on because I thought maybe they would coordinate with the shirt. I don't know if that's the case or not, but you can tell me what you think of that. I think that it's certainly making that skirt look like it's wearable on a regular basis, and then I don't need to worry about looking like it is too dressy, so at least I feel like I might be able to get a little bit more use out of that skirt than usual. And then I added a new scarf that I just purchased from Madewell, and I actually got it on a really good sale. Now it's more expensive than it was. But I think that this is a really, really gorgeous scarf, actually. It is really, really thick, so I'm not saying that it is as thick as an Hermes scarf, but I do think it's moving in that direction. It's really much thicker and much higher quality silk than really most of the silk scarves that I have seen in my life, even regardless of how expensive they are. And so this is called the Madewell Oversized Silk Bandana, and it is regularly priced at $68. And this particular shade is the Golden Honey, and I actually had enough optimism about that I actually ordered one that I haven't gotten in yet, which is in a different pattern. But now that I have actually seen this scarf, I feel like I would really be interested more in this particular group of scarves because the quality is so good. So the color combination in here, it has some khaki and some cream and yellow and some burgundy. And so I kind of feel like the combination with the skirt and with those shoes, that kind of brings it together and makes it look like it's more of an actual outfit that I put a couple seconds into thinking about rather than just something that I happen to throw on. And it kind of makes more sense for me to be wearing those khaki socks with those shoes when I have that scarf on, I think. And I have a scarf clip on that I'm using to clip that together. And this is actually like an older vintage type of a piece that I went out of my way to get. But I think that has been a really helpful piece for me to be able to wear scarves a little bit more easily on occasion, especially these really big scarves. And then I tried on those LL Bean ventilated hiking shoes, and those do have a little bit of khaki in them, and so I thought that maybe that would kind of coordinate with the shirt and with that scarf. And I don't think it looks that bad. I think that it kind of looks maybe modern looking. I think that maybe that is kind of really leaning into the trend in a way that doesn't look bad. And then just for variety's sake, I thought I would try on a different blouse. And so this is one from J. Jill, which is a little bit oversized. And so this is from the Pure Jill line, and I do think that's a little bit better made than a lot of the clothes from J. Jill, and so it has held up for me for a few years. And so I thought I'd just throw that on and see how it looked with this. And then I threw on a belt with this and then just kind of pulled it up. And I don't think it looks too bad as sort of an alternative. I just really feel like I haven't gotten enough use out of this black skirt, and that I'd like to find a few more things that I could wear with it that would be kind of comfortable and that I could wear sort of on an everyday basis. And I tried on those Kyoto shoes with this, and I think that that might be a little bit much, but you can tell me what you think. And then I tried on a few other shoes. So I tried on the Birkenstocks in the butter yellow, the sneakers, and I tried on those ballet flats from Birkenstock. And in general, I don't think this is a bad outfit. I feel like it's a little bit more dressy though. I feel like I would more like wear this to like church maybe, something where I wanted to get just a tiny little bit dressed up, but didn't really feel like I wanted to go all out and look too formal and wanted to be comfortable. That might be more appropriate than going to the grocery store maybe. And then this next one is the one outfit that I have that's not a dress or a skirt. But I did just buy them from Quince, and so I wanted to show them to you while the products are still available on the website. And so what I have here is a pair of men's shorts from Quince, and these are called the Quince Men's Drawstring 7-inch linen beach shorts. And they are $39.90, and I have this in the color of Martini Olive. And so what I wanted to do was to put together a little matching set of shorts and a top, because that seems to be kind of in style this year, and I thought that that would be something that I could be wearing that would be kind of cool and kind of a little bit polished looking. But when I looked at the shorts that were in the women's section on the Quince website, those are really, really short. So they either have a 3-inch inseam or a 5-inch inseam, and I thought that those would just be too short for me and that I wouldn't really feel comfortable wearing them for anything except being around the house or maybe going hiking. So when I looked at the men's shorts, I think that 7 inches is a much better length for me. And it does seem like also that for the women's shorts that they didn't really have any plus size available when I looked, and I don't know if they do now or not. And in addition, I thought that the extra large shorts might be too small for me, especially after washing them, and that it would be safer to buy a larger size in the men's shorts in case they were to shrink. And so in terms of deciding on the size, I decided to be assuming that they were going to shrink a bit, and so I decided to get the waist size, which is supposed to be 38 to 40, which is men's size extra large. And it also is the case that men do not have hips that are as wide as women, and so I wanted to allow some room for that as well. And I feel like these shorts are actually fitting me pretty well. And so I think that they could shrink a little bit and I would still be able to wear them. But I'm still a little bit nervous about how much they are going to shrink, because if they shrank more than a size, then they might be too small for me, even though right now they are too large. So that makes me a little bit concerned. But other than that, I think that these are really nice. I like the length of them on me. I like the waistband and the drawstring on them. I think that that is really comfortable. And I think that there is potential to wear them with a lot of different shirts that I own. And I think that this Martini Olive color is actually really cute. It's just a khaki green type of a color, and it is pretty dark. And so I just started out wearing this with this J. Jill shirt that I have just because I had it on already. And I have on those Birkenstock ballet flats in the Tracy style, and I think those would be okay to wear with those shorts, but that's not really the most modern thing to be wearing, maybe, I'm not sure. Now, one thing I will say about drawstring shorts like this is I think that if you're going to wear a t-shirt with them, or if I'm going to wear a t-shirt with them, then it really needs to be more like a cropped type of a t-shirt, because I don't feel like they look really that great if I tuck it in. And if I have a t-shirt and it is longer, then it's not going to look that good with the shorts either. But I did want to try out a t-shirt under the shirt that I am thinking about wearing. And so I did put on this little t-shirt from LL Bean. And so this is called the LL Bean Pima Cotton Tee Short Sleeved Crew Neck Shirt, which is not really fitted. and it is $24.95, and this is in the cream color, and I'm really happy that they're making a cream color because in the past they've only made white, and I kind of like cream. And I'm wearing my usual size of petite extra large. I've worn an awfully lot of these shirts over the years, just as my ordinary t-shirt, and what I found is that it shrinks maybe half a size if I put it through both the washer and the dryer, and this one is not washed yet, and so that is one reason why it's looking a little bit loose on me. But it's also a shirt that is not fitted to the body, and so I think maybe if I had a shirt that was a little more fitted, that it might look better with these shorts. And then the shirt that I'm putting over this is also from Quince, and this is in the same color, which is the Martini Olive, and this is from the women's line, and this is called the Quince 100% European Linen Short Sleeve Shirt, and it is $34.90, and there are currently 9 shades of this in the regular size, and then in the plus sizes they have a few shades which are black, white, navy, and a blue pinstripe, which looks a little like pajamas to my eyes. And so what I felt with this blouse was that if it were to shrink to the point where I couldn't wear it, that at least I could wear it open over this t-shirt probably, and so that made me feel a little bit more confident than if I felt like I had to button it up all the time. And I do think it's currently a very nice size for me, just like that dress that I purchased was a very nice size for me when I purchased it. But I would not bet at all that this is going to be a shirt that I can button up, at least at my current weight, after it's washed, even if I wash it in cold water with line drying. But I kind of feel like if I put this over a t-shirt, I think this is kind of cute. I think if I put it over a t-shirt and it's unbuttoned, I think that that is kind of cute. And I think this is something that I have the potential of wearing. It does feel like it's kind of stylish this particular year. It's been a long time since I've seen like little sets of shirts and pants or shirts and shorts that have been in style. I remember this being in style when I was like in high school. And so I think that that's kind of fun, and I don't mind having something like that to wear just because I think it's kind of a cute look. And I feel like this scarf that I'm wearing today, I think that that goes nicely with this particular color and this particular style. And so this little scarf is also from that YouTuber named Unblaw Yourself. Her name is Diana. And so this is a 100% silk scarf for $39, and it is called the Edie, and it is described as a muted rose garden. And I like the fact that it has this khaki color along the edge of it, because I think that that does coordinate really well with this particular Martini Olive shade. And so I don't know that I would wear a silk scarf like that all the time, but I think that even just going casually shopping or something like that, I think it makes it more into like a cute little outfit rather than a something that just looks like I'm thrown on. And then especially since this scarf has some yellowish in it, I kind of like that with those Birkenstock butter yellow sneakers also. I think that that is turning into an outfit that looks kind of intentional, but also kind of casual and fun, but not too childish looking. And then I tried on that shirt without the t-shirt under it just so you can see what it looks like. And I think it's kind of cute, but it sort of looks a lot more basic and a lot more plain when I do that. And I think that especially wearing it here with just those Arizona Birkenstock shoes in the cognac shade, I think that that is a kind of a simple and basic look, which might be appropriate and cool for the summer, but I think it's a little bit more interesting when it has those other pieces with it. And then next I have another piece from Eileen Fisher that I just purchased from Nordstrom Rack and that I'm trying out and trying to decide if I should keep it. And so this is called the Eileen Fisher Gathered Organic Cotton Skirt, and it is originally $178, and so they are charging $99.97 for it. And it is in a beige color, which is described as wheat. And it is available, or at least it was available, in sizes extra, extra small to extra large. And so they say that what it is a smooth poplin weave in organic cotton creates a lightweight and drapey feel on a pull-on skirt that will take you through the day in breezy comfort. And this has an elastic waist, and the length is stated as being 34 inches, and it has pockets, and it says machine wash and line dry. And so I decided to try this on with a new shirt that I just picked up when I was at the Yellow Bean store. And I was really happy again that they have petite sizes there. And so this is in my usual size of petite extra large. And it is described as being the LL Bean Day Breeze shirt, short-sleeved button front for $39.95. And so it is all cotton, and it is described as a minimal gray in terms of the shade name, but it has lavender and terracotta and beige in it, and then there's a little bit of like a darker purple color in it too. And I think that those are all colors that I wear a lot in the summer and that feel good on me in the summer, and so I feel like I can wear this with a lot of different casual outfits, and I think that it is the style of a shirt that I tend to wear a lot with shorts or pants in the summer. And so I don't think that I would have originally thought of wearing this with a skirt, but since I picked up this Eileen Fisher skirt and I was looking for things that I might be able to wear with it, I thought I would try this on since it is a new shirt. And I do really like this one in terms of it being cool on my body, and I think it fits me pretty well in terms of this size. And it says machine wash and dry, and again, I feel pretty confident that LL Bean stuff is not going to shrink a whole lot on me, even if I put it in the hot wash or a warm dryer. And so that makes me feel a lot better about buying this than I am about some of these products that I don't have any idea how much they're going to shrink. And then I just have on those cognac Birkenstock Arizona shoes. So all in all, I kind of like this. I think it's kind of pretty. And it looks very summery, and it doesn't look so formal that I don't feel like I could wear it really anywhere that I might go. And I think that it looks a little bit more dressed up than a lot of the clothes that I tend to wear in the summer, but it certainly doesn't look so dressy that I don't think it would be appropriate, or that people would say to me, why are you so dressed up, regardless of where I might go. And so I do really like that. I do think that it would help a little bit to have a little bit of waist definition, and so I did put on that Coach belt that I tend to get a lot of use out of, and I think that the colors in that Coach belt go pretty well with this outfit. And I think it looks pretty good even though I'm just wearing a short sleeve shirt and a simple skirt and a pair of sandals and a belt. And then I also tried that on with the Birkenstock Buckley pink clay version, and I think that that looks kind of cute with it too. I don't know that there's really a pink color in the shirt, but I think that that is close enough to the purple and the terracotta that it looks kind of nice with it. And I tried on white socks with this, but I don't think I would probably wear those white socks with this, but maybe some people would. You can tell me what you think. And then I tried on a few other pairs of sneakers just to see how sneakers would work with this, and I think that the Dansko sneakers, those are really, really cute with this, actually. I think that they really blend in terms of the colors, and that looks actually really natural. So I could definitely see myself wearing those Dansko shoes with this particular outfit or with other outfits with this skirt. And in terms of, I have this pair of LL Bean shoes that are more of a charcoal gray, and that has a little bit of peach in it. And I thought that maybe that would go with this because this shirt was called Minimalist Gray, wasn't that what I said? And that the sneakers are gray and that they have that peach color in them that I thought would go with the skirt. I think that that just gives way too much darkness to my feet, and that it really draws your attention to my feet, and those sneakers are not even that attractive, so I don't think that that would be what I would choose. I definitely would skip that one. But in general, I do feel like this is a really easygoing look, and one that I have the potential of wearing to a lot of places. And then I thought that I would try on this shirt, the cotton gauze shirt from Quince, just to see how that would blend into it. And I think that that is kind of cute with this also. I think that that looks perfectly fine, especially if I put a belt on with it. And for that one, I think that those sneakers that are the butter yellow from Birkenstock, that they actually seem to lean a little bit on the green side. And so I decided to try that on with this, and I think that's actually kind of cute also. And that especially, again, when I put on that Madewell scarf that I really, really like, that kind of looks very put together and intentional and kind of fresh. And that because that scarf has that burgundy color in it, that if I wear shoes that have like that cognac burgundy sort of a color to them, like these Birkenstock Arizona shoes that I wear so often, that kind of coordinates with that, and that looks a little bit better than just that I threw something on. Now, I would be really inclined to keep this skirt because I do think that there is a lot of potential to wear it with a lot of different things, and that it is looking kind of good with some of these different shoes, and that it's so casual that I feel like I could actually get a lot of use out of it, and it is a really good length for me. But the only thing about this is that when I look back over some of this video footage, I do feel like there are points when the sun was right behind me that I could see a little bit of the outline of my legs through this skirt. And so that made me kind of concerned that people were going to think that I really needed to be wearing a slip if I was going to wear this skirt. And when I think about the slips that I own, I think that they are like nylon slips, and so I really don't want to wear a nylon slip with this skirt because I feel like that would be really hot, and that they would not really be long enough for the skirt, so I would really have to buy a new one. And maybe I could buy a cotton slip that I could wear under it, but it would be a little bit of a challenge, I think, to find the right one, and I'm not sure if a cotton slip under a cotton skirt is a good idea or not. So I feel like if this skirt was going to require a slip, that probably that Eileen Fisher should have put a lining in it, and so the idea that I have to go out and buy a slip makes me kind of mad. And I'm not sure that most people would wear a slip now. I really don't know what most people would do. I do remember early, back in the 1980s especially, that if I was wearing a dress and you could see my legs at all through it, that people would come up to me and tell me that I needed to wear a skirt. And I did go back and look at the pictures of Lady Diana in the skirt that you could see her legs through, and that one actually was really, really transparent, so you could really see her legs very, very strongly. And I don't think that that would happen as much with this skirt. I think it would just be a hint of it. And I also found some fashion photography where it seemed to be really designed to show off women's legs through the skirt. So maybe it's not even considered to be a faux pas if that happens now. But I'm not sure if I really need to wear a slip with this skirt, and so I'm a little bit interested in what you think, because I think other than that, I really, really like this one a lot. And I especially like this beige color of it. I think that that is a nice shade for me, and that it goes with a lot of different things that I can wear, and that this is a really nice option to wearing shorts or pants, or jeans are really too hot to wear in the summer, but just something that I can wear and throw on and have it be kind of a default option. I think I really could get a lot of use out of it. And then finally I have one more outfit, and so this is a skirt that is sort of similar to the Eileen Fisher skirt, but this one is from Quince, and so this is called the Quince 100% Organic Cotton Poplin A-Line Maxi Skirt, and it is priced at $49.90, so it is about half the price of the Eileen Fisher skirt in terms of what I paid for it on sale, or it actually is something like only 30% of the original cost of the Eileen Fisher skirt. And this one is in the shade white, and this one actually is lined. It also comes at present in black and navy, and those are not lined, but I think probably with black or navy it wouldn't be an issue to have it be see-through. And so what I will say first with regard to this skirt is that the quality of the material of this skirt is really, really nice. So if I compare this to the quality of the Eileen Fisher skirt, I feel like the quality of the cotton is at least as good, but it is considerably thicker, even if you don't count the lining. And I don't think that that makes it too hot. I think it's actually really appealing, and I think that they kind of went all out in terms of the quality of this cotton poplin. Now, what I will say about this skirt, first of all, is that it is just enormous. And so I kind of doubt that if I got a large that would still be the right size for me. I think I might have to size down to a medium, although that sounds crazy because then I would think it might be too small. But the only way that I could even demonstrate this was to get a clothespin and to pin it together. And when I show you how much extra room there is in this in terms of the elastic, it is just enormous. And I think that even if the cotton material were to shrink, that the elastic probably wouldn't shrink. And so I'm not sure how it would look if it does shrink. And I also am not sure what size I should be getting. So all of that is kind of concerning to me, and it's a little bit frustrating because I do think the material of this is so high quality and impressive. So to try this on, I just put on a t-shirt from LL Bean, and this is the LL Bean Women's Pima Cotton shaped V-neck in short sleeve, which is $24.95. And this one is a little bit closer to the body, so the V-necks are just cut a little closer, so I thought I could just throw that on with this skirt just to demonstrate it for you. I also feel that this skirt is a lot longer than the Eileen Fisher skirt. So that skirt is supposed to be 34 inches, and this one is supposed to be 36 inches, and I feel like it's more than a 2-inch difference. I haven't actually measured it, but I do feel like this one just seems really, really big. And apparently this is modeled on some skirts from Doen, and I think that the Doen skirts do tend to be supposed to be really long and really full, and so that is part of why this skirt seems so big, but it also just is running really, 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 really big. And people do say that in the reviews and in terms of what their estimate is as well. So I kind of felt like this was going to be too long for me, and my intention was actually that if I really liked it, I would take it to a tailor and have it shortened up a little bit, but this actually is going to have to go back. And then the other thing is I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable in clothes that are beige rather than clothes that are white, and that this white skirt would probably get really kind of dirty if I wore it on a regular basis, and I don't feel like that coordinates as well with a lot of the things that I have. And it also seems to be more a silhouette that kind of goes out like this, and so I'm not sure how well that would work with the shirts that I have if I were going to belt them over the top of it as being like a tunic, even if it were to be in the right size for me. But I will say that when I put on this little scarf from J. Jill, which has white and teal in it, and that it kind of coordinates with both of those pieces that I'm wearing, and then when I put on those Birkenstock white Gizeh flower sandals that really coordinate really well with that white skirt, I think that's actually a really kind of pretty summery look. I kind of am liking that. And so and it doesn't even look too long for me. I think that ordinarily I would not want a skirt that long, but with this particular look, I kind of like it. And so I do feel like if I bought that skirt, maybe I could find more things to wear with it, and that it could be something different in my wardrobe that would have a little bit more style than the stuff that I usually wear. And so I'm not saying that I'm not still attracted to this skirt. I'm just feel like so far it has been something that I'm going to have to really invest a lot of time in, especially if I have to take it to the tailor to get hemmed. And toward the end of here, I threw on that old Madewell scarf. And again, I think that that's kind of an attractive scarf, and I do enjoy wearing that one whenever I can get a chance. So thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of the video, and I do really hope that you will give me your opinions about the things that I tried on in this video in terms of which things you think I might do well to keep and which things you think I should actually give up on. I really do think that that would be helpful to me to get your opinions on that. And then in addition, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then I hope you will go ahead and do that. And also, if you like this video, then I hope you will hit the like, because that supposedly helps the YouTube algorithm. And meanwhile, Coco and I do love you very much, and so thank you very much for watching, and I hope you are having a good, if hot, probably summer. Bye-bye.
Ba-da-ba-da-da-bum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum.